This area isn't really developed for tourists, like Sunday afternoon walkers with a bench every 100 meters. But I have a free spinning one, or free swinging bench. You always get surprised when you're coming along. The whole tree is coming down, well actually this way, and I must come from there. Oh. It's funny, there are not many rocks around. Well, there were a few further on, but I'm glad I could get my pack off. There isn't really much I could take out or dump. It's all really a necessary kit. I tried not to carry any toys. Well, the magnifying glass I could dump, but it doesn't make a big difference. And yes, because I have to cope with different climate conditions. It's neither hot, well it's actually sometimes it's hot, and it's cold and it's wet. So it's not like a continuous weekend or something. It's well, it's 1.5 weeks I'm in the woods now. Smelling like a lungs. Ooh. But it's nice, really nice and quiet. Yeah. Anyway, it's not far from the shop anymore, so I'm almost there, and I have to take care about my knee. It started playing up last night, and I think it was because I was walking a bit off balance. I put too much weight onto the left all the time. A few years ago I had the same issue on the right hand side, on the right knee, and I really had to stop the journey. But because I didn't listen to it, I had to make some mileage, and then it was too late and I could barely move. So I have to take it steady. Yeah, slow and steady, that's the key. Yeah, I'm glad I found the swinging bench. Must have been already around 12ish. I left the campsite at about shortly after 10 in the morning, and yeah, going up and down all these trails, it's not something you do mileage on short time. It's better to take it steady and easy, and I don't know, maybe I'm doing 3.5–4 kilometers an hour at most, yeah, which would be alright because it's another 1.5–2 kilometers up to the shop, so it would be around right. And yeah, actually the path is maintained a bit better again. They put all the new signs up every 50 meters actually. There's one there, and another one down there. And their recent poles, they made them up fairly fresh, and obviously they don't want anyone to get lost. I mean, even if they would skip every second, that would be plenty to spot, you know. And they're bright yellow. Yeah, they told me this is the oldest shop in Finland. I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely an old village shop in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing that direction, and there's nothing that direction, but this is the village shop. And yeah, you've seen the village owner, well, this is the shop owner, really nice woman, and she told me a bit about the landscape. And classic, this is the sort of shops you won't find anymore. It's what we call Tante Emma little shoppy and corner shop, sort of, but this is in the middle of nowhere. It's lovely. Yeah, I'm in the shop now. Got my basket, found some sausages. Unfortunately, they're not allowed to sell fish, like smoked fish, because of the temperature, but they're selling fishing tackle stuff. I may have to get some of this if I get the chance for a lake. Yeah, they're actually telling me it's the oldest shop in Finland. Oh, look at that. How about this wooden teeth brush? I got one of them. What else I need? Ooh, mainly need food. Some party stuff, batteries, pencils, beer, very important, beer. Over there, there's a very nice shopkeeper, the owner actually. Yeah, we had a little bit of chat. She's very nice. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is the treat department. A bit of sweets, lots of beer. I guess that's expensive, but I'm not having that. What is that? Hot dancing crisps. Sweets. Oh yeah, I haven't seen sweets. Yeah, it's all pre-packed. I guess that's something. Having a few bags of this. Let's have a look if this is. I think it's probably horrible sweet, but yeah, having one of this. We're here in the department. Biscuits. Mutta siis se kaikkeen tosi hulluja. There's more people in here. The sweets are all over the place. All this bags full of sweets in the shelf. That's funny. Could have a Tabasco. Yeah, it's all mixed up. It's funny. They put this little sweetie. I think the owner is a bit of sweetie. She's a bit. Oh, yeah. So. What's not for sale, it's for self-consumption. Noodles. Sugar, I need sugar. Yeah, all the sweet stuff. And the coffee, handwritten signs, more treats. Sugar. Here's a lady, really nice lady, the shop owner, yeah.
Welcome to Räyskälä.
What's your name?
Janette. Janette.
Janette?
Janette.
Janette?
It's okay.
Janette? Oh, okay, because the Finnish, it's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
It's I speak a bit, Danish. I lived 3.5 years in Denmark.
Yeah.
I speak Danish. I can understand a bit Swedish,
Yeah.
English, German, but no Finnish.
Finnish is cool, yeah. Completely
Finnish is
different.
different.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, got a bit of shopping and got a little bit of bread from yesterday, and I got some salty fish, which I'm having with the bread, and try to get that in my pack, and keeps me going for the next few days, and having my lunch now here. And they actually sent me a fork, which was very nice, and maybe having an ice cream later on. Yeah, staying here for a bit. In Finland, seeing one of the oldest shops in the world, or in Finland, then it's the right spot. It's a tiny shop, and you got everything, even a coffee on the outside. And I just noticed, yeah, you got even the trolls. Look at this troll there. It's well, is that Finnish humor or lifestyle? I'm not sure about that, but well, definitely a cheery guy. Yeah, and in the background you can see you got coffee and milk ready to go. When you walk around the corner, you get a little bit some benches, and I actually had my lunch up here, and yeah, I guess I'm ready to go. I guess someone of you may asking yourself, why the heck does this guy using this heavy pack? Well, it's not really heavy as such. Well, it's heavy, but compared to nylon stuff, which are only be maybe used for one season and then dumped, this is a sort of pack. Well, it's well balanced, and yeah, it hasn't got shoulder. No, what is it? A hip belt. Yeah, no hip belt on it to support the weight onto the hip. But actually, I feel I had such rucksacks in the past, and I found them restricted. They restrict my movements, and actually pulls all the weight onto my hip joints, and that actually didn't do any good. So I rather have the free moving hip stuff, and actually the weight of the pack is more supported on the back of on top of the back, yeah, and then more across the chest rather than on the shoulder. Yeah, it's depending on how it's packed or how it's all stuffed into the pack. Maybe it takes a bit more attention to do so, but yeah, I thought maybe to give you some explanation. And if you ask me if I would take this pack again, yes, I would. It's a nice feel to it. It's absolutely silent, and actually even the shoulder straps with the leather shoulder strap and the felt padding works very well, spreading the weight. And what else can I say? I definitely would use this or choose this pack again. It's yeah, it looks a bit out of date. Like if you turn up, people say, "Oh, you're on the classic, the old classic," because people, well, these days you only see this plastic, bright colored plastic, nylon stuff around, and but I don't know. As I say, I used the Fjellreven rucksacks, and they're not cheap either, and in the end it's more about how to stuff the pack and how to spread the different weight of different items in the pack and not just dump it all in there. So it takes a bit more thought into it, and yeah, other than that, I did fair bit of mileage today, and it's now a bit heavier with all the food in it, but it's not that far away to this shelter. And I asked the shop owner, yeah, the blonde, and she told me it's a very nice place, and this shelter thing is actually meant for sleeping, not just for barbecue, because it's a pretty spot. And the other two shelters I've been before, they were not meant for sleeping, they were meant for barbecue and then going home, and not maybe putting a tent up next to it, but not staying in the shelter itself. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this sort of classic platform shelter thing where you can actually stretch out in, yeah, and well, I better carry on. Yeah, I only have to surround this lake and up to the next lake, and I'm there. Along the path, it's really, it's a pretty spot. Actually, they told me in this shop I should go to Lapland. It would have been really nice up there, and probably lots of mozzies, but well, I got all the time I need or want. Other people stay at home. The thing at this pack, if you're interested in this loading stuff, especially because you have to cope with cold and using your clothing as well, night protection against the cold as well, or in generally, because it's very robust and almost maintenance free, only needs to air out a bit, like what you do is a sleeping bag in the morning, just hang it up on a line and in the wind, and it will, well, if you're out in the woods, you're gonna smell after a while, after some time, but your clothing, the wool, actually can cope with that fairly well. And yeah, as I say, hang it up on a string or on a branch somewhere, and it airs out very good, very well. And yeah, have a look at the Hubertus Loden webpage. They got all this stuff, and especially for the wetter flag and some of the rucksacks. Well, as I said before, or mentioned before, I altered mine or created the rucksack myself, so for my needs it's not a box standard one, and so far I'm very pleased with it. As you can see, I'm getting out of breath, but it's hot. It's hot. There's not much wind, and yeah, make my way to the shelter. This is a proper Scandinavian shelter option, like fireplace front and a platform, shelter platform for sleeping in, and could be well 6 people next to each other, and 2 of these shelters are, so there are 12 people at least can hold up in such a place. So I'm gonna occupy one space tonight, and maybe even up to tomorrow. And as it looks like there was enough firewood nearby, so I could, and this is actually made to heat both shelters for over the night, so the heat will actually get drawn into the shelter, and the best is to come. yeah, this is in the woods, and if you follow me, I mean, you're gonna be surprised. This lake, this water is pristine. It's clear to the ground, crystal clear water. You can see the fishies swimming around, and what they told me, they do scuba diving in here as well, so even in the depths it's very, very clean. And this is how it looks like. There's some insects paddling about. I don't know if you can see that, but I haven't got the polarized filter on, but the water is clear, absolutely clear. I know my mate Andy, he loves this. I wouldn't get him away from a place like this, not for days. He would persist in staying here for a week at least. And I guess going further out around where that's a bit deeper, you could do some fishing. And yeah, I may give my feet a soak in here. This is addressed particularly to my mate Andy. Andy, if you see this, I don't know, you're gonna kill me for it, but I wish you were here, and you would have loved that. Yeah, but as we know, shit happens, get on with it, and maybe next year I can route you around. Yeah, this is, I don't know what this lake called. I got it written on the map, but I not try to pronounce it. I'm getting it wrong. The Finnish language is so funny. It's very unique in the pronunciation, and yeah. It's still a bit fresh, cold, but it's a relief. Oh. Yeah. The ground is wet. I have to find something to sit on. Yeah. Oh. I have really, really hot feet. Oh. It's definitely a treat. Yeah. That's the trouble with hiking. You get the feet really getting on. They take all the weight and everything. So they want to have a bit of attention from time to time. And what better than having a bit of soak. Clean, fresh water. Lovely. Well, it's so cold for me to jump in there. Yeah. But that was well worth getting here.